This is Justin from GeneralsJoes.com doing a video review for the G.I. Joe Collectors Club figure subscription service Law & Order. He was part of the first shipment to come out for FSS 4.0, a Law & Order along with Nunchuk, both on single cards, very vintage looking. Pretty cool figures. The FSS has been running for 4 years now. It's on its fourth year. And a lot of good success stories within the FSS, I have to say, and I would consider Law one of them. Not one I was especially excited about, considering all the reused parts, but still a pretty fun vintage figure and a good-looking figure to add to your 1987 roster. As you can see, pretty much what you see is what you get with the figure. You get the Law figure himself, along with the Law & Order battle stand, along with Order himself. Comes with an Uzi, comes with a nightstick, his MP helmet. He's got a pistol in the holster there that you can see. One item to note is that holster also can hold a silencer. He does not come with a silencer. According to the G.I. Joe Collectors Club, there's some kind of factory error where silencers were not produced for any of their Law figures for FSS 4.0. Just as a heads up to any collectors out there wondering if anybody's got a silencer, the answer is no. First, I kind of want to take a peek at Order. Order is also a reused sculpt. He was first released the same time the original Law was released for the 30th anniversary / Renegades line. My awful zoom, sorry. Back in 2012. He's not articulated, there are no joints, but he is colored very much like a typical kind of canine German Shepherd. He's got his little police bib on the front. The original 1987 Order was hard plastic, didn't have any of these cool pouches or anything like that, just had like a collar and a leash attachment. This version of Order is nicely detailed, very nicely detailed, although he's also unarticulated. But a very cool canine unit for the MP. He's got a little flexible leash that does not come off, but can allow Order or allow Law to walk the dog if he needs to, take him out for potty breaks and stuff. Very important. So for Law himself, they basically took the same template that we saw in 2012. Same exact parts on the inside, same legs, same torso and arms, same head. Threw on a Wild Bill 25th anniversary blue vest over the top of him to better mimic the 1987 look. Altered some colors a little bit, made his pants a lighter green rather than the, kind of the olive drab. His undershirt is red instead of gray. And like I said, he's got that 25th anniversary Wild Bill vest over the top instead of that kind of more tactical vest that the 30th anniversary / Renegades version of Law came with. But under the covers, he is pretty much the same exact figure. I can kind of prove that right here. That's the 30th anniversary version of him. I'm going to just pop him off his battle stand real quick. But yeah, you can see the arms are the same, the legs are the same, the head's the same, the helmet's even the same, just with some little deco adjustments. One little change, obviously, the Wild Bill vest wasn't originally slated to come with an MP, so there was no badge on it, so the Collectors Club actually used a little tampo to mimic the look of a badge, which is okay. It's not great, but it's all right. Does the job, at least lets you think something is there, even if it's not actually sculpted on. I'm actually pretty pleasantly surprised at how well the Collectors Club was able to mimic the look of the vintage Law, just with some paint adjustments. I wasn't originally convinced they'd be able to do that very well. I thought it would be, it would look a little bit too cobbled together. But, I was pleasantly surprised because I've got my vintage Law here who, if there's any young children in the room, you may want to have them avert their eyes because my original Law is apparently a busted crotch special here. As I go through my vintage Joes, I become increasingly depressed at discoloration and busted parts, and O-ring breaks are no big deal, but I'm finding a lot of crotch breaks, a lot of thumb breaks. These are figures that are just sitting in a drawer, kind of daylight protected, not getting used at all, and still they seem to be disintegrating before my very eyes. It's kind of depressing. But anyway, you can kind of see the comparison and try to ignore the busted crotch and just look at the figures, look at the color matching. It actually works pretty well. It's not too bad. I was surprised at that. I didn't think it would look as good as it does. And as I mentioned, he's got all the right accessories. The original version of Law came with many of the same things. He's got his little MP tampo on the left arm. Good job. Which is good. The helmet is removable. He's got a very nice head sculpt under there. A lot of the heads that were made in that 2012 time frame were pretty great. His is no exception. Lots of character there. Kind of the wavy hair. Very well done. He might have been based on a real person. I have no idea. Sometimes the sculptors did that back then. But I really don't know that for sure. Obviously his Uzi and nightstick are fully removable. Look at the back. It's just a really nice figure. I mean, any figure made out of parts from that era is going to be a pretty good one. Just because they were really hitting it on all cylinders during that time frame, from sculpting to design to articulation to pretty much anything else. He's got, double jointed knees, as all of them do, that work really well. These legs, I believe, are the same legs that were originally used for the G.I. Joe Renegades Duke, which I thought was a really great figure. That whole Renegades line was woefully underappreciated, I thought. They gave us some really cool parts, really nice designs. His elbows have pretty good range of motion. You can bend them pretty far. He does have the posable wrists, so this wrist can kind of go down like that or up like that. Meanwhile, this wrist can go in like that and out like that and spew black plastic everywhere. That's probably not healthy. The figure feels pretty durable. I know there's some questions, with the 50th anniversary line about plastic quality. I don't notice those same issues with the Collectors Club figures, I have to say. They feel more solid. I don't know what the reason for that is, but it is what it is. He's got the little pouch on his left leg. The holster I mentioned before on his other leg, with no silencer, unfortunately. But he's a really nice figure. I mean, like I said, it's nothing groundbreaking. He doesn't use any dramatic new parts. It's all, existing 30th anniversary G.I. Joe Renegades Law parts. But all in all, it's not a bad rendition. He fits in with the rest of the 87 roster pretty well. And he's a decent figure. He's a good entry to the FSS, the kind of things that collectors have been clamoring for. We've got some vacancies in the 1987 roster, and he helps fill those pretty well. And he's got some cool accessories. The Uzi is nice. He's got the one of the later generation nightsticks, which is always good. And of course, he's got his trusty PAL order. So lots of fun stuff to see here. A good addition to the FSS. If you see him available on the GIJoeClub.com website or on the secondary market, he might be worth picking up if you can get him for a decent price. I know a lot of people are kind of jumping ship on the figure subscription service. I still think there's some decent stuff to come. 4.0 felt a little bit underwhelming compared to 3.0, but there's some great stuff coming. Billy is coming, and that's been a figure that's long been waited for. Some other really great stuff that's out there too. So not a bad start to it, and thank you for watching. If you liked what you saw, please think about subscribing or leaving me a like on the video or comment below if there's anything you'd like to be changed. And thank you for watching. This is Justin from GeneralsJoes.com.